For sure. Yo, listen up. Mira, tengo un vato negro bien fino allá in Southside, Minneapolis. I got this fine black boy in Southside. We've been talking a minute. Ese. Okay, girl.
He from the Southside?
Smooth, respectful. Hits me every morning like buenos dias, mommy. You feel me? Hey, that's sweet.
All right, we back in the saddle. Back to work. Back off the vacation, whatever. As y'all can see, I'm taking somewhat of a, I'm not gonna say a break, but I done did so many videos of so many different things within like the past 2 weeks. I figured I'd take some advice from one of my guys, you know what I'm saying, span it out a little bit. I'm still, see, this is the problem once you start getting into your creative mode. It's kind of like when we go to the studio. Well, now I don't have a studio. This is now my studio. And I told y'all I'm going to be building a new section once I move. That might be for like another 3 to 4 months or so or something, but I don't know. But until then, this is the tool I'm using. I want to repeat something that I learned from a woman a long time ago that put me in a movie one time. Her name was Melody Waters. She said, use the tools that you have. Don't talk about what you don't got. Just use what you got, and then you can get all the stuff you want. But you got to put that work in. All right, so now, this is gonna be kind of like a somewhat little addendum after I was creating a couple videos. Those are gonna be coming pretty soon. So you're not gonna hear this addendum just yet. You're not really gonna hear an update. You're probably gonna go and check on the trailer breakdown. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you're gonna probably see those videos before now. So let me get right to it. Anyway, we're gonna get to the addendum. And I might have one more story. So I got a couple stories coming up, but I guess, like I say, I got to make a bunch of videos for them and all that. And I got a lot of stuff recorded, y'all. I got a lot. So this is going to be the Westside story with, as I call, Ezmirelda. When I started kind of making the videos, as y'all have saw already by this time, you gonna kind of be like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the videos that I made, she looked a little better than what she was. But if I'm saying that's how she looked. If you put it like this, if you would have seen Ezmirelda, if you would have been a, 20-something-year-old brother, you know what I'm saying, and Ezmirelda would have showed up your door, you wouldn't have been mad at her. You ain't gonna be mad at her. You know, you gonna be like, okay, Ezmirelda's all right. Ezmirelda's all right. You know what I'm saying? She looked, and the thing is, like I say, the way my mom had thought that she was black is because she was like dark. She was darker. She wasn't like real light skinned. You know what I'm saying? So my mom was like, you know, when she seen her, but I mean, she thought, man, that I might have been hiding something or whatever. I might have felt embarrassed or whatever. So that would have made her even angry or whatever. But I gotta tell, she was kind of like, hey man, like, you know what I'm saying? So I try to put the video as much as I can remember on how it was. You know what I'm saying, on what she was doing. But the thing is my mom liked Ezmirelda. I didn't really like her that much. I kind of liked her because, you know how like sometimes you'll like a girl, but she kind of irritates you. But I liked her to a certain extent that she was kind of fun to be around. She didn't really yell and, you know, and stuff like that. But then at the same time, I knew that she was kind of like almost like Raven. But now she acted like Raven a little bit, but she acted more, and she was spicy. She was real spicy.
Negocio hustles del West Side, oíste? I'm about my business from the West Side, fool.
But she would have been she probably a little more attentive. In their culture, they like engineered them to be kind of attentive. But the thing is, they crazy as hell. And Ezmirelda would have probably pulled out them Bethlehems on me if she would have got upset. Like she like possessive like that. And you know, my mom already told me. She said, you know, if you tolerate a Latina chick, you gotta get that money. She told me that when I was a child. She said, you gotta get that bread, because they ain't gonna expect you to leave. But you know, because I told her out there, I guess when I was a kid, I told her, like, I guess we were just talking about women or something like that. And I said, you know, I kind of like Hispanic girls a little bit. I don't talk to them a lot. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, you know, it wasn't as prevalent. I mean, brothers was talking. There's relationships. There's black and Hispanic relationships here. There's definitely here. But, you know, generally, you know, their thing was they gonna stick with their folks. You know, they will shop with you, and black folks shop with them. But generally, like, I mean, they live around us and stuff like that. They've always have. you know, in Minnesota. But as more start coming here, they gonna live wherever. They gonna live wherever they gonna live. You know what I'm saying? So they don't discriminate about where they live. And the thing about Mexicans and Hispanics is they will shop with a nigga. Like, if you come in and you got a product they want, they will buy it. They will buy it, man.
It's fantastic. Fantastic. With that low you get a little bit of sauce, a little bit of.
Man, they'll, you know what I'm saying? If it's soul food, whatever, they'll buy it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but far as a deep, close family relationship, I'm speaking from a Minnesota perspective. I'm talking about like a two-way, you know what I'm saying? It might be bits and pieces and stuff like that. It ain't like a big old brothership. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily like that. We kind of on our own. Black Americans, we kind of pretty much on our own, you know. So folks might adopt our culture, our music, whatever, but you know, like far as like business, you'll have bits and pieces where people deal with each other. Ezmirelda was from the West Side. Desiree, the one I told you, Desiree, she was from, well, we didn't know where she was from. She was from the South Side. So, you know, in this addendum, I'm going to introduce you another character, but let's continue to go. So, with her being at my mom's, my mom is coming down, because I didn't really break it down any further. So I'm gonna try to break it down with this. My mom, and I'm gonna edit some stuff out too. But my mom, she was kind of taking the position that, because remember, when I stayed at her house, I didn't really have nowhere to bring these girls. But around this time, I was starting to go to females' house. If I was kicking it with them or whatever like that, I go to their house. But now, like Larice, the Larice story, you're gonna hear that in a minute. You know, you'll hear that. If I ain't already dropped it, let's just assume you did. Now, she had her own place at some point in time. But I didn't leave the house till like 05, which was too late for me, if you ask. And you know, so, but so I would, if I meet some woman, 9 times out of 10, a lot of times they had their own spot. If they had their own kids, they probably 9 times 10 had their own spot. They didn't really stay with their people like that. So my mom figures that if I'm bringing somebody to the house, I'm bringing somebody that would be decent enough. Now, once I got my own place, I wasn't really bringing women to my mom's house no more. It might have been one, because I might have been kicking it with one. I just happened to go down there and I got to walk down there from the projects. But generally, that wasn't something that I would do. There wasn't nobody where I would really bring them there and say, well, you know what I'm saying? Like that just wasn't something I would do. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't bring them there. You know, now if she would have owned the house, my mom probably would have just kept my room, to be quite honest. Like if River Bluff Townhomes was something she owned, she probably would have just kept my room. So if I were to fell off or something, I need somewhere to stay, or I just don't want to leave, I could just, you know, that's probably what she would have did. She would have just kept my room. But, you know, she eventually had to go, like once I left, and it was a while, once another, you know, building opened up, and she had to move to one that has one less bedroom. So I think when she moved again, it just had, I don't know why they made her move from the back row. You know what I'm saying? But I think it was because I think they just put her in like they put her in a 2-bedroom. They put her in a 2-bedroom, and then my brother was still staying there. But before it was a 3-bedroom. It was a 3-bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it would be dope as hell if I could go back into some of those houses and get some actual footage on what it looked like. But I don't know nobody that would probably let me do that or whatever like that. I mean, my homie's mom still stays down there, but you know, I mean, I would like to get the house we stayed at. That'd be dope. But anyway, so her thing was, you brought me, this girl pops up with a baby randomly. And this baby, she wasn't a newborn, but she was fairly young. Like, I don't even think the baby was 2 yet. Maybe the baby was 2, but I don't think the baby, I can't remember how old the baby was, but the baby was, I think the baby was over 9 months or 8 months or 6 months or whatever the case may be. Now the baby at the time, from what I know, was asleep. Now when she brought the baby, she's naturally gonna bring her child wherever she goes. She ain't just gonna leave it. So I know she was a good mother. It did kind of warm my heart. I'm not a heartless bastard, you know what I'm saying? And you know, like, it did kind of warm my heart a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And my mom was probably looking like, damn, man, she looked, the way she looked like, man, is this your baby? But then I could kind of tell if it would have been, she would have been hot. But that would have probably been erased real quick. She probably would have dealt with me later, like, man, give me my grandson or give me my grandchild. I think she had give me my granddaughter. I think it was a girl. It might have been a boy, but I think it was a girl. I can't remember. So she's sitting that, you know, when I bring her upstairs and we're talking, she's like, oh, you know, your mama don't play or whatever. And she kind of smiling and stuff like that, because now she liking her. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, Ezmirelda, I'm thinking to myself, like, you ain't gonna really get too comfortable around here or whatever. But she had other plans. She was gonna try to, like, Ezmirelda was gonna try to get comfortable. So
Ezmirelda, how you get my address?
I got my ways. Don't worry about that. Should make you know, never mind, Poppy.
No, never mind, huh?
We go back downstairs, cause we talked for about a half hour upstairs or whatever, and then she was talking about, well, I just want to go, I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna, you know, but she probably would have wanted to stay a little longer. Knowing my mom, if my mom would have been cooking, she would have had dinner, cause my mom liked her. When we get downstairs, she's asking her questions about, like, does she like to cook and all this kind of stuff.
Gracias, señora. Tiene un buen hijo. You have a good son. I really like him.
Do you like soul food, Ezmirelda?
Oh, sí. I love it.
Stuff, cause she's thinking this woman ain't just gonna come down here to your house unannounced out the blue if you didn't invite her. But I don't remember inviting her. I think she just popped up because she probably figured I was there. This is what I think happened. I think my homie, because this was after the West Side. This was after we went on the West Side. I believe this was after. You see what I'm saying? Because like I say, I didn't think that she liked me that much, but I think she wanted me to just be a little bit more aggressive. That's probably what she was expecting. And I guess I didn't get as aggressive as she wanted me to be, so she probably started getting a little flip at the lip to try to see if it could get me mad, to see if I was, you know, because if she figured if I get him mad, he cares about me a little bit if I get him mad. You know what I'm saying? And I like I say, I liked her to a certain extent, but I wasn't calling her up trying to get up with her all that time. You know?
For sure. Yo, listen up. Mira, tengo un vato negro bien fino allá en Southside, Minneapolis. I got this fine black boy in Southside. We've been talking a minute. That's it. Okay, girl.
He from the Southside?
Smooth, respectful. Hits me every morning like buenos dias, mommy. You feel me? Hey, that's sweet.
I wasn't trying to call her up and kick it with her that much. And, you know, maybe that could have been something with her too, kind of like, you know, if we talking, if we gonna talk at all, you know, we need to kind of keep this thing going or move forward with her a little bit, because I ain't never touch her. You know what I'm saying? But she kept trying to, you know, so I think, and then another reason it could have been maybe because I wasn't coming as hard and I was acting a little nonchalant. She was probably thinking, who this nigga think who I am? You know, I'm a decent looking broad. He should be on top. He should be on me as much as he can. And I wasn't really on her all like that.
Mira, yo no fumo, pero esta vibra me tiene arriba ya, ¿sabes? I'm lit off, y'all.
Are you wow?
Ese vato piensa que puede jugar conmigo, disappear y volver como nada. Le voy a enseñar. Baby, I'm gonna show him that Westside love.
So she might have kind of been like, okay, he trying to play hard to get. I'm gonna get his ass. So
Couldn't stay away.
she could have been thinking that too. Sometimes that's how women is, where you just don't say a whole lot, because I wasn't saying a whole lot. And the less I said, the more interested it became. You know what I'm saying? And so she got even a little more aggressive, and she got flip at the lip, and she got a little smart mouth, and she's spicy, and I'm kind of like, man, get your spicy ass out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you trying to be all spicy and stuff, and I'm just messing with her. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, so we sitting in the living room. My mom's asking all these questions. She probably had the oatmeal cookies. My mom.
Here you go, baby. Still warm.
Thank you, ma'am.
I like her. She got some manners about herself. So how you meet my son?
We met over on West 7th. He was fixing somebody's desktop in the back of a record shop, and I had a busted laptop and a whole lot of questions.
I always cook the oatmeal cookies. She eating the cookies, and she, you know, she's, And she probably like, I'm a good cook. And I'm like, man, your ass getting way too comfortable, Ezmirelda. She said, oh, I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to get comfortable. And my mama like, yeah, she come back. I want her to come back. I'm like, Ma, I'm kind of like frowning up a little bit. And my mom like, man, what's up with you? Well, why are you frowning over there? Like, I'm like, Mom, this ain't, cause I'm caught off guard. I'm caught off guard. So, because I just didn't expect her to pop up like that. If she would have let me know, I would have told her she could come. I wouldn't have told her she can't come over. But maybe this is what I think Ezmirelda figured. If I call him after what happened last time, he gonna tell me not to come over here. But she remembered how to get down there. It's the kind of, put it like this, if you know how to get to Washington and Cedar.
I'm gonna pull up on that fine thing. He don't even know. You ready, little man? We gonna surprise him.
Another one for the stack. Burn, baby, burn.
All right, showtime.
Who that? Yes?
Hey.
You're never gonna forget coming down. If you've been on Washington and Cedar or been in that area, and she probably been in that area before because sometimes she might go to the club. I know that. Because that's where she was going before. The last time I seen her, when I had my own apartment, she was familiar with the area. So when she called me up and said, hey, come through, But after that, like I say, we were drinking and I ain't crack her. So I think that was kind of her final straw where she was kind of like, man, he really don't like me or whatever. And that wasn't the thing. It's just that, I'm still, at this point in my life, I'm still trying to do a little bit more investigation on women than I normally do. Before, I may not hardly ask any questions or really do nothing, but I'm steady trying to figure out what is this brought on. Because I know you got a child and all that, so I still need to know. That's why I'm feeling like I need to know more. As opposed to me just being like, well, I don't need to know nothing about it. I need to know something. I need to know what I'm dealing with. So that's the kind of, that's how I was kind of coming a little bit. And matter of fact, this was likely after the situation where I had where I felt like when I had a situation where I woke up to do. So I'm hypersensitive about who I'm dealing with right now. You see what I'm saying? So that last time she came by, I'm probably still trying to figure things out and pick her brain or whatever like that or whatever. But to her, she was kind of like, man, we've known each other for a couple years now. We've known you ain't touched me, you ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So she's probably kind of like, I don't really want to come back over here no more. But we'll get into that. So she figures I'll come over here. I'll impress upon his mama. Because she knows that if my mom says, hey, I think she's decent, then I might kind of think about it a little bit. But, so she's sitting there, she talking to my mom. I knew she would like my mom. Or I knew my mom would like her because if she get to talk, she ain't gonna get smart with my mom. She ain't gonna do none of that stuff. She ain't gonna act all spicy and all that. But she gonna give her eye contact. She gonna be sitting there grinning. My mom see the baby. So my mom loves children. You know what I'm saying?
No, baby, I know. This definitely don't look good, but I had to go for what I know. Mira, tuve que hacer lo mío, ¿me entiendes? No había de otra.
What happened to all that Westside talk? You seem to be code switching for my...
So she knew what she was doing. You know what I'm saying? And as she started to talk to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, I ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to...
Let me tell you, when he was about 8, he decided he was going to fix our VCR. Took the whole thing apart right there on the living room floor. Little screws everywhere. I was mad, but he sat there all night trying to put it back together. That's just him. Can't leave a gadget alone.
I can see that the way you look at him. I like you too, honey.
Tell me something. Do you like soul?
Come up with excuses. I'm trying to hurry up the conversation to get her on out of there so I could talk to her. I wasn't kicking her out. It was just that she probably had something to do. She got a child. She probably got something to do. Baby could get, but she had the whole baby bag. She had all of that stuff because I'm helping her carry it around. You know what I'm saying? I think that she might have called her homegirl that called my guy and said his DP at home. Because I probably might have been talking to my homeboy. We might have been talking about, where we going to go get some money at or something like that or for the next day or whatever the case may be or whatever. Because I used to talk to him a lot.
You ready, Peanut? Mama about to slide. I'm gonna pull up on that fine thing. He don't even know I'm coming. There he go. Look at him.
Ezmirelda? What you doing here?
Couldn't stay away.
We business partners, right? So now he might have, and so he always wanted me to holler at her. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he thought it was a good fit. He thought it was a good fit. He wasn't hating or nothing. He probably said, hey, yeah, DP at home, he ain't doing nothing. He knew I ain't no car. I'm not leaving the crib if I ain't going to get no money. I'm chilling. If I'm not going to get no money or spend some money, I'm not leaving the crib. Unless I'm going to get a Blockbuster or whatever the case may be. And I have Blockbusters. I had a bunch of Blockbusters. You know, I had all kind of little tapes and stuff like that. I think around this time, I had a VCR and I might have had a DVD. You know what I'm saying? So he probably sent her over there like, you know, oh, do you remember how to get over there? And she probably said, yeah, I know how to get there. And so she gets pop up. Caught me totally off guard. Caught me totally off guard. I didn't know what to do. Caught me totally off guard. And my mom's going to say anybody that I bring in the house, my mom figures I done did a little bit of vetting. So she's just going to be open-armed about it anymore. And then the fact she likes her, she's steady. So my mom keep on asking her questions and all that stuff. She ain't trying to be nosy. She like the girl. And Ezmirelda gets grinning. Yeah, mommy, you know, I do this and I cook, I clean. I was like, she said, oh, she cooks and she cleans. So
do you like to cook?
Sí, señora. Yo cocino, limpio y trabajo. Yes, ma'am. I cook, I clean, and I work. And your son likes good food, mama.
What you fretting for, boy? This a good woman right here. Baby, you welcome back anytime.
Don't listen to Derek.
You know, these are points for my mom. My mom's like, okay, my son like to eat. And I'm telling my mom, like, Mom, you know, this ain't, we ain't, you know, she's like, man, she said, hey, she said, don't listen to Derek. You come back. I'm like,
Welcome back anytime. Don't listen to Derek.
I'm gonna go talk to my mom real fast.
like, oh, man. So now she feels even more obliged. Now, she didn't come back there, you know, but because probably because I wasn't like telling her, man, come back through with this, that, and the third. But now, you know, so I bring her, I walk outside, I'm talking to her, and we just kind of running it. And, you know, she's, at this point, she's on her best behavior. She ain't slick at the mouth. She ain't getting smart. She ain't getting loud and spicy and you know, or none of that. She is on her best behavior. So I'm a little surprised. I'm completely thrown off. I mean, she really disarmed me with that. So I really didn't know how to feel. I'm used to telling her that she got a smart mouth. You know, I'm used to telling her that every time we around each other, because she always getting smart. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, you know, and then she'll kind of laugh and stuff. And I'm like, man, she gets, you know, so I'm telling her, I said, well, look, you know, you got kind of a lot going on. She said, well, you know, I want to see you again. And, you know, I know, she said, hey, you know, I know this situation, it don't look good, Poppy. It don't look good. Like, it's not a good situation. You see, I got a fresh baby and everything. And, you know, the baby was like 9 months or I don't know. But, you know, I'm like, yeah, man, Ezmirelda, like, I mean, we've known, she said, what's the problem? We've known each other. Like, we know. I said, I know, but man, like, so, you know, she said, well, I'm not trying to, you know, I don't want you to jump the broom. Or, she didn't say jump the broom, but I don't want to jump the broom. I just like you. I just want to talk to you. And, you know, what's the problem? And, you know, I'm like, man, you know, I just didn't expect this, Ezra. I didn't expect this, you know what I'm saying? I said, you and my mom to double team me and everything. And now you got me kind of feeling kind of torn about this situation a little bit. Like, you know, because she said, you don't like me? You don't like what you see? You don't like it? You don't like? I said, I like it. I said, I like. I said, but, you know, like, yeah, you know, I said, man, you might be crazy or whatever. She said, I'm not crazy. She said, not crazy, Poppy, unless you make me crazy. She said, don't do nothing to make me crazy. She said, I won't be crazy if you don't do nothing. I said, what I got to do? He said, you know what you do. You know what you do. I said, I ain't did nothing to you. She said, well, just don't do it. I'm like, oh, hell no. Like, man, oh, man, I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, you crazy. She said, I can be crazy. She said, but don't do anything to me and I won't be crazy. I said, that's probably how you ran off your baby dad. He said, he did something. I did something to him. I said, what you do to him? She said, don't worry about it. It's none of your business. I'm like, man, your ass. Now you getting smarter, Ezmirelda. She kind of smiling. She said, listen. She said, you call me, you know, we go hang out and you come to the west side. She said, the way you go to, she had a little accent. You go to the west side, fool. She called me a fool. She said, come to the west side, fool. Come hang with me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, your ass might have me. I said, this shit might be like some training day. And so she said,
a miracle, man. Times are tight. Scoot up a lot of cash.
Ain't no trading day, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. She said, I'm from the West Side, fool. So she keeps messing with me like, man, you come to meet you. I treat you like a king. You come.
Ezmirelda, I want you to come back. You hear? Don't be a stranger.
Yes, ma'am. Gracias.
Night, Mom. Night, baby.
DP, come to the West Side, fool. I treat you like a king. You won't regret, right?
We'll see.
Mm-hmm. You will.
Over, she said, you wake up, I got breakfast and eggs. I said, man, I don't.
DP, ask me where I'm from.
Where you from?
West Side, fool.
No, man, like I didn't really want to go over there. I ain't go, cause the north side is one thing. The west side is a different animal. Let me tell y'all something about the west side, man. That folks get confused about. Cause they figure it ain't the north side of Minneapolis, or it ain't the 20s, or it ain't the 30s, or it ain't Brooklyn Center, Brooklyn Park, or the Manors, or they think because it ain't Payne, Phelan, and all that. See, y'all probably just think it's just a bunch of beaners running around, you know what I'm saying, and just a bunch of tacos and get some white people over there. Man, let me tell you, the west side could get real treacherous sometimes. Cesar Chavez and over there, man, it could get real treacherous on the west side if you ain't minding, just minding yourself. It's just quiet, and it's right over there by South St. Paul, so it looks all dark and quiet and murky, and you just thinking it's just some little quiet ass area where you just gonna be able to just, drop your guard completely and all. Man, no, it's not. The west side can get real treacherous if you ain't careful. Somebody from St. Paul testify. Can the west side not get real? And I knew that back then. I just didn't know how to move around over there. Cause you kind of need a car on the west side. Like you go up Robert Street and all that. You keep on going, you end up, man, we're going to do a west side slither. Should we do a west side slither, man, coming up pretty soon? Man, we about to do a west side slither coming up. I'm about to go all over the west side. And I'm just going to go to random places I ain't never been. But Cesar Chavez, man, over there by the Paul Wellstone, and like I'm telling you, man, they done had bangouts up there on regular basis. Go look on the news. They don't report it as much as they do, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, the west side could get real sticky over there. I'm telling you, the west side could get real sticky. And it may not make the news all the time, but they may not report it because of who's there. It could be that too. You see what I'm saying? It could be that too. But I just, this is what I thought I get. Hey, Holmes. I thought I'd get an A Holmes once I start hanging out over there all the time. Because I don't know nobody over there. And I don't know exactly where she stayed. She could have been deep in the west side. Or it could have just been like way outskirts where Desiree stayed. Where it's getting close to Invergrove Heights. It could have been that. I don't know. Because I never went out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but the last time she came by on Cedar Riverside, I was staying in D building. And it was late. D building was like, I think I drank and smoked. I think I was kind of indulged in too much DNA. I call it drugs and alcohol. I think I indulged in a little bit too much DNA there. But, I just had my own little, you didn't really have to want for much. The rent ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of blow away your life over there for a little while. And you surrounded by all these concrete walls, man. And so, if you stay in Cedar Riverside too long, if you stay in them project buildings, man, you'll get swallowed up by that concrete. If you don't get up out of there too much, you'll just stay. You'll just stay and all that kind of stuff. And I said, okay, I can't stay around here too much, especially when they start putting the cameras up. I said, yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go, man. It's time to get up out of here. But that was like a little haven for me. It was a good frozen state of independence for me to a certain degree. It was a frozen state of independence. It was a frozen state of independence for me. So I don't necessarily regret or take anything back. I think it was good for me to leave. And I really didn't have much of a plan. Like when I went to go apply to stay down there, it was, and you got to think, Cedar Riverside, when I was growing up, that was a staple for us being in that neighborhood off of 6th Street. Literally on 6th Street. That was a staple for me. So all my homies would come by. They still grab. By this time, folks ain't really coming by. People got computers. They get their own mixtapes and stuff. But most people my homies come by and get DVDs. Because I had my machine. You know what I'm saying? So they come by and get that. Some of my homies will come by, they be selling some stuff. D used to, like, a lot of times, like, some of my guys, when they fall off, they know they can make some money because I had quality. They know they can make some money, so I'm going to put that quality out there. So they know they can make some money and get them a quick flip. There was a lot of my homies that, man, that used to be up. That way surpassed me. They was up. But when they fell off or needed some bread or whatever like that, man, they come re-up with me. Hey, bro, hey, let me use that machine. Come on through. And I might just let them bring their CDs over, or I might just tell them, man, give me $50, man, and I can just load you up. Let me give you $300-400 worth of these joints or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just load you up. You know? So, you know, it was a burgeoning market, man. Everybody was doing that shit. Blacks, whites, everybody was doing that shit. They just tell you the niggas was doing that shit. That's not true, man. That's not true at all. Everybody was doing that shit. Now you go to work right now, people will openly say, hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I pirated this. I'm like, what? I'm just tripping, like, y'all openly proud. I'm not going to the theater to watch that shit. I'm about to pirate that. I've heard that from a lot of white people. They openly say that. I'm pirating it. They'll just tell you, yeah, I'm just gonna pirate it. I'm like, damn. I said, I want to go and see the movie. He said, man, don't go to the movies to see that shit. He said, pirate it. I'm like, man, because I like the movies. I like the sound and the surround sound and all that. So, but yeah, Ezmirelda was she was an interesting character. I don't know too much about her. I know that she probably had some daddy issues to a certain degree. I think she did because, you know, the way she chose. Now, the guy that she was with, I believe, was a Mexican. It could have been a black man, but I think it was probably a Mexican. And, you know, typically in their culture, they're like, okay, you stick with your kind, which is nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But now, if they not going to stick with their kind, they going to usually get a black man or a white man. That's typically what happens because that's their proximity too. That's typically what they going to do. So, you know, you'll see some Mexican and black couples from time to time. You'll see some, you know, from here. Yeah, there's definitely some, you know what I'm saying? They're, you know, so, but now, because I remember, matter of fact, I got a story with D. I forgot that story. I don't even know. Did I have a car then? I think I did have a car then. This might have been 08. This might have been 08. We went on Lake Street, where all the buildings burned, where I call it the storming of Normandy, where the police station was across the street from there. Man, there used to be this bar. Everybody goes to this bar, but on the top of the bar, or like one of the other buildings, it's always Mexican night at a certain night. We went up in there by ourselves. I went in there with D. We went out. So yeah, me and bro did do a little clubbing from time to time. I did go, you know, and so I didn't really want to go in there just with us because we the only two brothers up in there. So we thought it would kind of be an issue or whatever the case. I thought it would be. You know, D, he, you know, he feel like shit, nigga. I'm from the, you know, I'm up in there. I'm trying to holler at something, whatever, you know, because he probably thinking about the little Mexican chick or whatever I plugged him with many years ago. Like, shit, I can use another. So he said, let's fall up in here, DP.
Street looking loud tonight. You ready?
Man, I'm ready to work the room. Let's see what the vibe's like. 10 each.
Here you go, bro. What can I get you? Paloma for me, beer for my guy when he circles back.
Evening, ladies. I'm D. Y'all from around here? I know a few folks putting together events, always looking to link with good people. Figure I'd introduce.
I said, man, I ain't really trying to go up in there, bro. He's like, man, I'll pay for you. I'd always have an excuse not to go to the club. I'd always have an excuse to my homies on why I didn't want to go to the club. And they knew that. So what they'll do is the way they get me in the club, they'll offer to pay, or they might just keep badgering me about it to the point where I'm like, okay, man, I'm not gonna let bro go in there by himself. So I go in there with him, and it's some decent looking chicks up in there, you know, and it's just us. We the only two black people in there. So when we first come in to pay, they looked at us a little weird, and we paid, and they let us in, and after they let us in, we kind of walked in, and the first thing I wanted to drink. I want to drink because I'm gonna grab my drink and I'm gonna sit down somewhere. So I sat down, and like I say, this is just, you're the only two black people that's up in there. So I'm just, minding my surroundings. I'm really, really minding my surroundings, man. And, you know, just keep my eyes open and stuff like that. So what I do after that is I'm drinking. He goes off by himself somewhere. I'm like, damn, why bro just jump up? But, you know, he gonna go mingle and network. That's how bro was. Bro's real good at that. So he just gonna go mingle and network. So, but there's a whole crowd. It's like surrounding him. Like he's just, you can see he gets one black face. So he's going off just to mingle with the women and holler at them or whatever. And I'm watching him the whole time because I just want to make sure that they don't try to crowd him. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that don't nobody try to crowd him or whatever, or kind of trip. So I'm like, well, I didn't really want to follow him and make him feel uncomfortable or nothing like that, you know, because that's how what bro would do. Bro would just vamp out and just go somewhere. He'll just bounce out and just go among the crowd and he'll just start talking. He eventually went and got him a drink. And so he's over there for about a good 10, 15 minutes, just networking. So I think what he was doing at one point, I think what he did, this is what I think he did. He probably tried to make them feel comfortable. Because he's a handsome nigga. I mean, it's a handsome ass nigga right here. You know what I'm saying? This a handsome bastard. So he's fresh. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's going to fit the part. So he's going over there. He's talking to them he's over there for a minute. And I'm just trying to watch him just to, you know, make sure he's good. I want another shot of tequila because now I'm starting to get bored. A little Mexican chick come up to me. Hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? She starts talking and I'm talking to her. And I'm not trying to ignore her, but I'm trying to watch bro to make sure he don't get crowded or nothing like that. So, because like I said, we outnumbered up in this bitch. And they were acting kind of funny as soon as we came in and paid. They're already acting a little weird. Because they probably thinking like, man, our women gonna be trying to, you know what I'm saying? So, the Mexican chick, and they could have sent her over just to find out info on me. You never know what's going on, man. So she comes over, she talking to me and stuff like that. She look good now. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? What's your name or whatever? Hey, y'all doing here? I ain't never seen you here before. I said, yeah, we don't really typically go, you know, we don't typically go in this area, you know, like I've been in this building before, but I don't typically go on this night. Like this was the Reba night. Like this was the rodeo night and all. This was like day night. This is their specific day and their specific night for them to party with their music. It's all Mexican music, Mexican food, and tacos and shit. Like this is their thing. Like the Mexican community have a large community in Southside Minneapolis and the West Side, and they all over. But this is their spot for Lake Street. And they got the whole damn Lake Street. They own tons of buildings on the Lake Street. So I said, I don't typically go here. You know, we just living in there. She said, well, where you live or whatever. But without thinking, I done had a drink now. So now I'm giving her information. I said, I stay right across the street. She said, oh, okay. She said, okay, so, you know, what's your name? And I tell her my name, you know what I'm saying? So what's your name? And she tells me her name. And so she's like, okay, you know, you look kind of, you cute, you know, like how old are you? Are you Puerto Rican or whatever? I said, no, I'm just high yellow. She said, what? I said, high yellow, I'm high yellow. She said, oh, okay, you light skinned. And I was like, so now we just kind of talking, still watching bro. I'm trying to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? So I order another shot. Let's fuck it. Bro's over there. He's shaking the hands to the Mexican dudes. Hey, man, hey, Poppy, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. And some of them are kind of cracking. He's cracking jokes. So he got them laughing over there or whatever. Maybe he's kind of disarming them or whatever. So now the women started to talk to him. And, you know, he's running it. He's running it over there for about a good 10, 15 minutes. He's introducing himself. He's shaking the hand. Hey, what's up, man? My name D. This, that, and the third. So I'm seeing him do his thing. I said, okay. So now I order my other drink. He comes back after like 5 minutes. He said, man, it's musty as hell over there. I said, I fell out. I almost fell out. I said, damn, bro. He said, man, it's musty as hell over there. He said, somebody bogus. Somebody came up in here bogus, and I don't know who it is, but that just, you know, that turned bro off real quick. So he didn't know if it was some of the broads or whatever. He said, I said, okay. I said, well, what's up, man? You trying to, he said, man, I'm going to finish this drink, man. We're going to get up out of here. So we got up out of there. And we probably went to go do something. I don't know what we did when we left. We probably tried to get up with some other chicks or whatever the case may be, knowing us, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? I remember that story with D, man. So yeah, that's the dinner with Ezmirelda. Okay, so I got all points, and let me edit some of this stuff. See the Riverside. She drives her Jeep. She still had that Jeep. She drives her Jeep and she parks out in the front. Now, this was a planned night. This was a night that we were going to spend together, like we was going to hang out. Because we never really got to really sit down with each other and talk. So, you know, I can't remember if she spent the night or not. I think she did. Now that I think about it, she might have spent the night. She might have spent the night. The plan was that she was going to come over my house and we was going to kick it. Now, this is what we should have did, man. What we should have did is we should have went out to eat. But, you know, I'm already in the crib and maybe I ate or whatever the case may be.